You either have to be sick or smart to get on this train. But genetics loads the gun and our environment pulls the trigger. We had no idea what was happening to my body. It was just crumbling. We had no idea that it would change the course of our lives.
Once you know, you can't unlearn it.
You can't unknow things. Cleaning products, unregulated.
I think of you and your company every single time that my son crawls on the floor, that my daughter runs around barefoot, that my chihuahua has her nose to the floor. I think about your company because it's been so life-changing. And why I wanted you to come on the podcast is you have an incredible story. And I wanted to use this as an outlet to tell this story. So why don't you tell us your first epiphany when it came to wanting to switch over to clean living and non-toxic cleaning supplies?
I love that. And we thought of Towns and Zaza and your Chihuahua as we were doing all of our iterations years ago now. I'm so excited to be here. So yeah, for me, it wasn't about, oh, let me educate myself on non-toxic cleaning or ways that I can, better my life or heal myself. I mean, the company was really born out of my sickness and just the desperate desire to understand what was happening to my body. So I guess I could kind of go into my story a little bit right now, but my two co-founders are my best friend Kelly and my aunt Marilee. And I grew up eating standard American diet. I was, quote unquote healthy. I had my first period in 6th grade and then never had another one. So in high school, I was born and raised in Houston. I went to a fertility doctor who told me that I had the worst case of polycystic ovarian syndrome he had ever seen. So I had thousands of cysts on my ovaries and I was put on birth control indefinitely, told I would never be able to get pregnant on my own. Basically, come back when you're ready to get pregnant and we can figure out what to do. So fast forward to college, I actually went to University of Texas here in Austin and met Kelly. And I came down with pain that started as, my shoulders are kind of tense. I'll see a masseuse. Okay, maybe I need a PT. And then by Christmas, sophomore year, my pain had traveled down to my low back. I was registered as a student with disabilities. I was traveling all over the country. I was on hydrocodone twice a day, painkillers, muscle relaxers, antidepressants, sleeping pills, and steroid injections. We had no idea what was happening to my body. It was just crumbling. And I had all the top doctors working on my case. And I'll never forget the last doctor I sat across from in Houston said, look, he was looking all over my EKGs and MRIs and CAT scans. And he was like, I don't really know what's going on with you, but it looks like MS. And I was like, okay. And I kind of just took that diagnosis. I kind of owned it. But at the same time, I felt like there was something more. So my Aunt Marilee comes into the picture. And at the time, I knew her as my crunchy aunt. She's now in her 70s. I adore her. But she lives in the Texas Hill Country. And she was making, her own food and using pure soap and didn't have a cell phone. I'm like, how in the world is she going to help me? I had been to all the top doctors in the nation. And she starts talking to me about toxins in our diet and our environment and essentially how our bodies are created to heal. And they want to run in the direction of healing if we will just get out of their way. And so drop by drop, our entire lives, we could be using these products that we think aren't affecting us. And some people get headaches and asthma and allergies. Some people wake up with cancer in their 70s. But in the end, these chemicals on a very small level are adding up and harming us. And so she said, you just need to cut out all of these toxins from things you're putting in, on, and around your body. So I had nothing to lose. And I did the best that I could, given I was in college. And after a couple of weeks, I was able to drop down on dosages of painkillers and such. And so graduation is approaching. Kelly and I decide we're going to go live with Marilee in the Hill Country. I had seen such a shift. And for someone listening, what are the little shifts that you made before you went to live with your aunt? Yeah. So I stopped using the Windex. We didn't do an exterminator. I used to think Splenda was healthy. I mean, it's just these little chemicals that I just never thought twice about because I had been using them my whole life.
Had anybody else in your family developed any symptoms?
No. And I had just moved into a brand new apartment complex, which we believe also played a huge role in kind of the straw that broke my back. We have, formaldehyde-ridden cabinetry and windows that don't open and, all the different toxins and chemicals found in paints and carpets and such. So I think that was kind of my breaking point. But Marilee seemed so disinterested in my labs, my symptoms, my genetics. And the questions that she was asking me were unlike anything that anybody else had asked. What are you eating? Have you recently moved or remodeled? Do you use pesticides? What kind of skincare and cleaning products are you using? And at first I'm thinking, what does this have to do with my health? And then I almost felt like this empowerment. For the first time, I've seen all these doctors. For the first time, someone is giving me something that I can change and do. And it felt like there was this fresh hope in me. And so I did. I saw a huge shift, and we went out and lived with Marilee in the Hill Country. This is 2008. And we spent that summer, learning how to cook real food and eat real food, and lived in a home completely free of toxins. And I have to just veer off this for a second and tell you Marilee's background, because it's really the underlying, reason why our company and our success is even here. And Marilee had 2 catastrophic events in her life. The first was in her 20s. She was told she needed a kidney transplant. And she basically looked at the doctors and said, I respect you, but I feel like there's something more. And so she learned about using food as medicine. For 10 days, she ate only real food. And within those 10 days, she had a huge shift in her body. Her kidney numbers were normal. She avoided dialysis, and she has not been on a prescription or over-the-counter drug since. And she's, like I said, in her 70s. So then the next catastrophic event in her life happened when her son was 10 years old. This is my first cousin. He was exposed to a large amount of a now banned pesticide called chlordane in school here in Texas. And he went from being a coordinated, obedient, bright, athletic boy to being picked up from school. His lips are blue. He can't spell a 3-letter word, walk a straight line.
How is he exposed to this?
He was actually in an auditorium along with several other children who were also chemically injured. They had sprayed chlorine the night before, and there was a flood, and the water had come up from the auditorium floor. And Marilee was told by the top poison control doctors and environmental specialists that he would never recover. He would be a bubble boy, basically create a safe room, give him 16 shots a day, keep him as comfortable as possible, but there's no turning back. Of course, this is before we understood that the brain can regenerate, neuroplasticity, et cetera. And this was in the 90s. Marilee, once again, had that feeling, look, I'm glad you're not God. We're going to heal my son. So at this point, she knew about using food as medicine. She didn't understand the environmental aspect. So he was so sensitive, he couldn't come inside of a building. They couldn't even stay in a tent outside. They lived in cots outside for a few years.
But what are the symptoms that were manifesting for him?
Yeah. So he would be exposed to, let's say someone would drop off, this happened, a bag from Target. He would smell, whatever smell was adhered to that plastic bag. His lymph nodes in his neck would swell up like little BBs.
Wow.
You couldn't talk like this. You had to whisper because everything was a scream to him. He had severe ADD, ADHD, emotional outbursts. He was completely disobedient. He was basically deemed autistic. I mean, he was a completely different child. Couldn't sit still, couldn't, like I said, be inside of a building. So they're laying in their cot one evening, and Marilee has this idea. She's like, what is it about my house that he can't come in? Because they had done everything to try to create a safe environment. And there was a box, and it had her favorite cleaning products, perfumes, some pesticides, and she had put it in a cardboard box and put it in a closet and shut the door. And she thought in her head, what if I were to remove that box? Maybe he could stay in, because he could only be in the house for 7 to 10 minutes without, he would get severely irritated and have to leave and uncomfortable. So the next day she removes the box, doesn't tell him. He comes in and he says, Mom, what have you done? I don't feel bad. I feel like I can stay. And she's like, okay. And that was, from then on, that was really the crux of his recovery. So it was that last box of just that small amount of chemicals. And she kept doubting it. And 2 days later, she's at the grocery store and she's going down the cleaning product aisle. And when you're on the cleaning aisle,
it smells so bad.
It's horrible.
Ugh.
And she has this aha moment. She thinks, okay, so I can smell this. I'm a healthy human. my son, who is chemically injured, who represents a ton of children who are sensitive, the elderly, people who are immunocompromised, they are reacting on the parts per million, billion, even trillion level. And so by removing this box, it allowed his body to stop expending its energy on detoxifying, instead work on healing. So his healing was at warp speed after that. He fully recovered. He was the first homeschooled child to get into the U.S. Naval Academy. He's 45. He has 3 children. So she went on to consult with thousands and thousands of people on this exact concept of removing toxins and allowing your body to heal. So that's when I came in the picture, and this is the house that I'm entering into. So it's completely clean, free of toxins. And that summer totally changed our lives. Kelly and I went, and after that, we thought, I've never been on a prescription drug since. All of my symptoms went away. I ended up going back to that same fertility doctor. All the ovarian cysts were gone. My period came back naturally. 13 years later, I woke up and had a period. Of course, I stopped birth control because that was not part of Marilee's protocol. I've tried 3 times. I've had 3 kids, all at home. So it was really the power of pure. I mean, we always say that. It's the power of pure. Our bodies know how to heal. But when we get up, if we have a scab and we get up every morning and we pick at it, it's never going to heal. If we get out of its way, we'll look down in a couple of days and it'll be gone. So,
wow. I mean, that is powerful.
mm-hmm.
Your whole story, I feel like there's so many people listening that are like, oh, I've had that symptom. Oh, I feel like that. Even when you were talking about light sensitivity and sound, when I had breast implants in, I told Michael, like, I was so sensitive to sound and light. I ended up getting an explant and it's gone away. Like, I can sit under these lights without, I'm still a little sensitive, but it was bad. It was like, I would have to like scream at Michael whenever he turned the lights on.
It's unbelievable.
So it is really, really crazy. So once you started healing, at what point do you decide to actually launch a company with Kelly and Marilee?
Mm-hmm. That summer we went just because, this will be fun. Should we go to Italy and learn how to cook, or should we go live with Aunt Marilee, who seems to know a lot about healing, and Kelly and I thought this will be great. We had no idea that it would change the course of our lives, that it would ignite this passion that you can't unknow things. And it felt like we would listen to her talk to her clients over and over, and we were eating real food and we were grounding. We were drinking juice. Guys, this was 2008. People were drinking OJ and grapefruit juice. We were drinking celery and ginger and lemon. I mean, our friends thought we were nuts. We were, we had EMF protectors on our phones. And we kept saying to ourselves, we got to put Marilee's brain on the internet.
All the stuff that people are doing normally now.
Exactly. And so we are an education company way before a products company. We never set out to sell soap. We've always used Branch Basics products as a vehicle for our mission to educate people on identifying and removing toxins from the home so that they can heal.
Can I ask you maybe an ignorant question? But I was thinking about this. Lauren jokes all the time. Like, I grew up in a house with like all of the household name cleaning supplies. I was just bombarded. And now obviously I have this stuff. And when I go either to places that use that stuff, or like I'm sensitive and I'm the one complaining about it.
Tell him how you complain.
But I didn't know, right? I didn't know. Like, my dad was the guy, like, he woke up in the morning and just slapped the lights on full blast and like, get up. Like, I was like go. There was no like, Lauren's got the meditation music. And
I was going to say, you need some nervous system healing.
I peeled it. No, he's sensitive now though. He's such a brat.
Because I get all these brain scans and talk to all these different people, and everyone says like, yo, the thing you need the most is nervous system, reset. And
thank God you married me.
That's the stuff. It's so like, but anyways, I'm wondering, from your perspective, there's obviously some people that are way more sensitive to this stuff than others, because not to say that I didn't have an impact, because now I notice it when I don't use it, but I would have gone through life maybe not ever really noticing.
Right.
You don't know what you don't know, though. It's exactly what you just said earlier, Allison. You said once you know, you can't unlearn it.
But now that I've removed these things from my life, I'm like, oh, I do feel way better, and I don't like being around them. Yeah. But I'm wondering if there's like just different people that are more sensitive to certain things.
Absolutely. And listen, some people have incredible constitutions and have really strong genetics, but genetics loads the gun and our environment pulls the trigger. So if you're born with these strong genetics and a wonderful constitution, and it sounds like you have an amazing detoxification system, you have a strong, brain health, maybe you need a little bit of nervous system health.
Calm down.
You also don't know, let's say you had continued on that trajectory and continued with the big fat Greek wedding Windex style. you don't know if you're going to wake up with cancer in your 60s. You don't know what kind of neurodegenerative diseases that you would battle, ALS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. These are all related to the toxins that we bring inside of our home. Pesticides cross the blood-brain barrier. Exposure to synthetic chemicals has been shown to create birth defects if you're exposed in your first or third trimester, prenatally. So you just don't know. I mean, for me, I love getting red flags. I love walking into a paint store or Home Depot and getting a headache and getting sniffles and feeling kind of cloudy, because that's my body unmasked telling me, hey, I don't like this. Get out. Get out when you can. But when you're exposed over and over and over, I mean, someone that smokes cigarettes a pack a day, they don't smell cigarettes. They stop smoking. They can't even be around it. You want your body to be unmasked.
No, that makes a ton of sense. And to your point, like, I don't see any, like, I only see benefit in not using chemically based things, right? Like, I think that's the biggest thing is, we're products of the 80s and 90s, right? And like, this is the rise of a lot of commercial enterprises that use, like the old Sunday commercials, right? And so you just like, you see a tiger and you're like, oh, that's a healthy cereal. Or you see, you see a bald guy and you're like, that's the healthy cleaning stuff. And so I think like a lot of our generation and parents' generation has just been trained to think like this is what is clean and healthy.
And what is healthy? I mean, people say, oh, I feel fine. I'm like, well, really, let me talk about your sleeping pills and your birth control and, fertility issues and menstrual cramps and body odor. I mean, Kelly, we joke you either have to be sick or smart to get on this train. So Kelly goes out to the hill country that summer in 2008, and she's the healthy one. She's the smart one. I'm the sick one. She had no idea that her body odor, her dry eyes, her constant, cramps, PMS, body aches, they all just went away. And so just because it's common doesn't mean that it's normal.
You know how serious I am about my razors. I take my razors very seriously, especially because I tend to get rashes on my legs. And the razor that I use is Athena Club. So it's white, first of all, aesthetically pleasing. It's not like a gross razor. You guys know the ones I'm talking about that don't fit with the vibe or the aesthetic. It also has like a magnetic hook. Okay, so you can hook it in your shower. It's absolutely genius. But also, I feel like it keeps bacteria off the razor because it's in the holder as opposed to just sitting next to my shampoo. However, the best thing about this razor is it's surrounded by a water-activated serum with shea butter and hyaluronic acid. And when I shave, I don't get a rash and I don't get razor burn. And I use this razor on my arms, my legs, all the parts, if you will. And I never, ever, ever get those like pesky bumps from it. You should know that the razor kit is only $10, so it's very affordable. It comes with 2 blades, the magnetic hook, and also your choice of handle color. I got the white. It's beautiful. If you're looking for a shaving foam for your legs that will leave your skin soft, they also have an incredible shaving foam. So they got you covered in all areas. Switch to the better razor and show your skin you care with Athena Club. Get started today by shopping in-store at Target stores nationwide. Just head to the shaving aisle to find the razor kit, cloud shave foam, wax strips, and razor refills. There is one thing that I cannot stop with, and that is the Symbiotica magnesium spray. It is like this lavender spray that you spray on your skin and your skin absorbs it. It makes you smell so good, but it also winds you down and it gives you a little dose of magnesium. And how I use this is I'll wind my room down. I'll put on my red light, my 528 frequencies, and then I will spray my magnesium on my neck. I spray it on my arms. Zaza asked for a spray. It's absolutely amazing if you have not tried it. They also have magnesium 3 and 8 that I will put in my coffee or my matcha too. I'm all about the magnesium right now. I'm just learning about all the benefits. It's incredible. I've learned that magnesium is an essential mineral and it's required for 80% of the body's metabolic functions. I've also heard from Peter Attia how many adults are magnesium deficient. So if you're looking for a way to get it in, get yourself some of these packets, get yourself the spray. It's absolutely magical. We obviously have a code for you. Go and use it. I shop my code all the time. Visit Symbiotica.com/skinny for 15% off site-wide. That's Symbiotica.com/skinny for 15% off site-wide. Visit Symbiotica.com/skinny for 15% off site-wide. That's Symbiotica.com/skinny for 15% off site-wide. That's Symbiotica.com/skinny for 15% off site-wide.
Sure.
I think that's really important. I would love to take this even like more detailed, and I would love for you to tell the audience some common toxic chemicals that are found in cleaning supplies that we should be aware of. What are some things that we're not seeing as a consumer?
Yeah. So if someone were to just go home right now and want to start tossing the toxins, I would say number one is pesticides. We don't smell them. They're insidious. They are the number one underminer of our health efforts.
And that is on our fruit, right?
We're in the South, we are South, and we have exterminators, and you think it's just the perimeter, but you are bringing those things inside. Mildewicide, herbicide, lice shampoo. These things are sealed and shut, and they are leaching chemicals into our air, and pesticides love fat.
What about the desecrated earth stuff?
That diatomaceous earth.
Yeah, that stuff. Sorry.
It's amazing.
Okay,
yes.
That stuff's okay.
Boric acid, diatomaceous earth, and we have a whole PDF on our website. So we're not saying you need to live with pests.
So like for the roaches out here in the South, that's okay for those.
Absolutely. You put cornmeal and powdered sugar and boric acid in equal parts and put it around little water bottle tops in your house. The roaches will all be gone. But
that's a good tip.
Pesticides love fat. They seek lipid-dense areas. And what is the fattiest part of our body? Our brain. So pesticides are directly linked to neurodegenerative diseases, lower IQ, low birth rate, weight. I could go on and on. So pesticides, number one, get them out. There's no place for them inside the home. Number two would be your laundry room. So if you think about it, the toxins that are affecting us on a consistent everyday level are the things that we are putting next to our skin, that we're breathing in our pillowcase. If we're naked in a shower, we have a washcloth. We do not escape what we use in our laundry. And they're impregnated with fragrance oils that are actually designed to adhere to the skin. Fragrance oil has a 100% absorption rate. And those synthetic fragrances are endocrine disruptors. And so anyone that's dealing with infertility, I have a friend who her 7-year-old daughter started developing pubic hair, and she uses Branch Basics.
Wow.
They have, Austin air purifiers, organic mattresses. God. And she's reaching out to me and she's like, I went to the doctor and he says, there's something I could do. And I use all your stuff. And I said, have you taken every cent out of your house? She goes, well, I don't buy them, but with birthday parties, the party favors, the Play-Doh, the stickers, the stupid silicone shoes the kids wear, they all are impregnated with these fragrances, our toilet paper, our trash bags.
So what shoes do you get them?
Well,
Crocs?
No. I'm saying there's certain brands, which I'm not going to mention, that actually smell, that they add a fragrance to.
They add a fragrance to this.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're
wait
saying
till Zaza a little bit older.
No, I got Zaza's smelly stickers. So you're saying like those smelly stickers have got to go, like the slime, all the Play-Doh,
all of the things that are
she will
they've
play
added
with sticks
the fragrance
and dirt and nothing else.
God.
Or unscented Play-Doh.
Yeah.
So anyway, she removes all of these things. She calls me back a month and a half later. Not only had everything halted, all of the pubic hair had fallen out. She literally reversed this testosterone blocking estrogen dominance issue just by removing the synthetic fragrances. So I would say pesticides, laundry, synthetic fragrances are the top things to get out.
So you're saying stickers, you said Play-Doh, slime. What are other hidden little
It sounds
things?
like anything with artificial smells, right?
You are not going to be the target customer for these brands. But if you go to the store, you'll notice that trash bags, tampons, toilet paper, pens, stationery, they're putting these synthetic fragrances in almost everything.
I'm not a tampon girl. I'm not a tampon girl. I told this to Michael. Sorry, I have never in my life felt comfortable shoving a plastic applicator up my vagina with a piece of cotton that has God knows what on it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Since I was little, I'm like, I had this aversion to it. But here's the other thing. What's on the pad? You got to find
I will say that downstairs area, it soaks up everything. It's thirsty for all the things. And so you got to get rid of every single pesticide that is in contact with it.
Thirsty for all the things. It depends on the day.
It's been really great talking to you.
No, but seriously, I don't want a disgusting tampon up my vagina.
You want pesticide-free toilet paper, and you really want to use bamboo, whole roll, Kaboo, bamboo toilet paper, because that BPA truly is that area is going to take it all in.
Do you like real toilet paper and real? It's called REEL.
Yes. Yep.
See, you know
Love
why
it.
Michael's so lucky? This is like handled for him.
Yeah.
You're
I'm dialed in.
wiping
Yeah.
your butthole every day with like the best toilet paper that there
I
is.
bet every time he does it, he's thinking about you in gratitude.
That's exactly what I'm
100%.
thinking about.
Wait, so you go back to what you said. You said tampons. You said other
But
things.
here's the
Hold on,
thing.
I just need to hear what this list one more
Just
time.
anything that touches that area. Toilet paper,
Okay.
tampons, pads should be free of fragrances.
But you said
and
a couple other
pesticides.
things.
I mean, underwear.
Underwear. So like
Yeah.
organic underwear.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh
we
my
work
God.
with so many people who have terrible menstrual cramps and they change their toilet paper, their tampons and their pads, women obviously, and their cramps are gone. In fact, I have a friend who's been using organic products, lady products down there for years, ever since I've convinced her to stop. She was in a bind one time and had to use one of her friend's conventional tampons one time, and she got cramps. So think about that. Think of all the women out there that are taking Percodan, Midol, all these things.
I don't mean to brag. I swear to God, I've never understood what people are talking about when they have cramps. So
I've
that's
never had cramps
so
either.
weird.
Yeah.
I've never had cramps in my life.
Well, you also don't shove pesticides up
That's
your
what I
vagina.
mean. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's not.
No, but you're right. I mean, we have the benefit of speaking to people like yourself and being aware of these things. And I think just so many people like it's not a thought. Like you go down the aisles at the grocery store or Target or wherever, and you just pick up the stuff that your parents probably picked up when you were a kid. Like I know, like when I first moved out of the house and I was like, oh, I take care of myself.
What was in your grocery cart?
No, like all
Enlighten
the,
us.
basically all, I'm not going to name any brands because I just want to get all the shit, but like, it's all the stuff that you see down the main aisles. And I was
Clorox,
just like, oh,
Windex.
saw that.
Yeah,
and
Charmin.
Yeah,
And
just,
it's an unregulated industry. That's what's so sad. There's 80,000 chemicals. Less than 1% have been tested for safety. And if you turn the bottles around, many of them require to be disposed of at a hazardous waste site, yet we're disposing them around our children. They're going down our sinks, our showers, So
it's interesting that it's not regulated.
yeah,
Huh. So if you are putting out a detergent, that is not regulated?
the ingredients are not regulated. So the
So like you're
European-
telling me a supplement, like a workout supplement is more regulated
Yeah, so
than
skincare, supplements, regulations, yes. Strict enough? No, in my opinion. But cleaning products, unregulated.
We did an episode with
in
the-
fact,
with
you
the-
don't even have to list the ingredients. So we have to go by, if it says caution, warning, or danger, those are actually EPA signal words that mean that there's certain ingredients that require those warnings to be put on the label. So anything with caution, warning, danger, hazardous, get it out of your house.
Well, it's interesting. I mean,
I'm throwing away that sauna cleaner that you've hidden.
no, that's all natural
That's-
sauna cleaner. It's all natural. It's just-
I'll be sending
Uh-huh.
Allison a picture.
All
of it.
natural and unregulated
Yep.
term.
no, it's
It says
all
caution.
it's
It
just
says caution on it.
it's just water and
I had to
I
go
forget
slow.
what
It's
it
like
was.
little
Yeah.
death by 1,000 cuts for him.
No, but
Yeah.
my point is like a lot of people just assume, they're doing the right thing, getting the basic cleaning supplies that they've always cleaned with. And what I realized having it removed by force, really was like she just busted in and took everything out.
Mhm.
I wasn't resistant to it, but now I noticed the difference.
Yeah.
I told you, we just checked in this Airbnb and I almost had a heart attack when we went in there because of all these plugins that were in the walls about this with the scents.
Yeah.
And even the detergent, like if somebody washes the clothes and something other than this stuff in their scents, and I can't handle it anymore.
You don't know how good you feel and you don't know how much these toxins are affecting you until they're removed. I mean, my nanny the other day, we've done a whole clean sweep of her life. I mean, she's eating all organic food and she's using Branch Basics. She said, I didn't even know I had anxiety and muscle aches, and now they're gone. And I'm like, oh, this is great. There's no fatigue in the afternoon. She's full of energy. Her acne's gone. It's unbelievable.
Talk to me about microplastics. A lot of people are high in microplastics. How can we eliminate that?
Yeah. I mean, listen, plastics, the molecules are not tightly bound. They're constantly seeking to, transfer and ingress into the thing that they're in contact with. So, I would say focusing on the big things like drinking, anything you're drinking out of, can usage. I mean, they did a study once. They had, for 5 days, they had one group eating soups made of fresh vegetables and then another group eating soups with vegetables, but from a can. And on the 5th day, that second group had 1,200% more BPA in their system. The thing about BPA and phthalates, both of which are found in plastics, BPA makes plastics flexible, phthalates make plastic unshatterable, basically. They're transient chemicals. So once they're removed from your environment, your exposure, they're going to leave your body quickly. They're not like PFAS, which are forever chemicals. They're everywhere chemicals. They're everywhere. Plastics are everywhere, but they leave quickly. So you can easily detoxify these plastics. But the microplastics, it's a big deal. It really goes down to this idea of epigenetics, where we used to think with the old toxicology model that the dose makes the poison. And science has proven this wrong. It's actually flipped it and the entire thing on its head. And we now know that the tiniest amounts of chemicals are enough to turn on and off cancer genes. We used to look at rats in a lab and we're like, okay, does it affect them between 0 and 50 milligrams of exposure or 50 and 100? We saw that the highest amount of detrimental effects were actually between 0 and 1.
So, and what you're also saying is if you have some kind of illness and underlying disease and your body's trying to heal, all of these different chemicals are also blocking that process potentially.
That's exactly right. Our bodies can only expend their energy doing so much. And when we are in a home that has an exterminator, or we use Raid and we have fragrances and we lay our head down at night after eating a meal that's most likely has some pesticides on it because, okay, does organic really matter? We lay our head down on a pillow full of, synthetic laundry detergent. How does our body have the energy to work on healing the deeper things, to work on turning off genetic expression? Instead, it's spending all of its energy during that night. Instead of resting, rejuvenating, restoring, detoxifying, which is what it's meant to do, it's detoxing these chemicals that it's exposed to, which is why when people go on cleanses and they do these clean sweeps, a lot of times old pains, like let's say a football injury from high school, will start actually aching because your body is actually now spending time healing the old things. And people will call and they're like, okay, we did all these things. We changed all these things because my son has some mood disorder. So Marilee will talk with them and she'll say, okay, these fragrances, these pesticides, there are neurotoxins, they affect our mood. Let's do a clean sweep of the house. The mom calls back, I've lost 14 pounds. It's like, yeah, because these chemicals store in our fat and they're metabolic disruptors. The more that we're exposed to these things, our body is amazing. And it has this incredible ability to actually sequester toxins into fat cells. And when we have reached our limit, those fat cells will either expand or they'll duplicate. So when we get rid of toxins, we're actually, losing that weight because our body doesn't need to have those excess fat cells.
Interesting.
What about cookware? Cookware is a tricky one because you wake up, you crack the organic pasture-raised blah, 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 blah egg that you think you're being so healthy with the ghee or whatever it's called, and you cook it, but then you're cooking it on something that has all this shit in it. How can we protect ourselves around cookware?
Yeah. Stainless steel, and we have entire articles on cookware because it's a really, really big one. But we love ceramic cookware. It actually cooks the food a lot more evenly as well. But yeah, you're right. And that's kind of the whole ironic thing is that we do these juice cleanses. We buy this, organic food and we go these efforts, and then we're, using cookware with PFAS, with forever chemicals that have a half-life of a very long time, which is why they're called forever chemicals. And then we're washing our dishes in dish soap, not naming any names, that I can literally taste the dish soap if it's, some of those strong pesticide type chemicals. A lot of people don't realize that, we're really undermining our health with these toxic chemicals and focusing so much on just the clean food, which is huge. That's half the battle.
It's so funny is so I watch sometimes the chatter online about what people are saying and the topics we're going into, and it's all over the board. But sometimes I see comments of people being overwhelmed, like, oh my God, let me live, like it's just too much. But I thought about it because we have people like yourself come on the show and talk about all these things that require people to make changes in their life. But I don't think people realize how much we've started to bombard our system in recent history. Like this, like there's been so much development in technology and so many things that we've advanced. Like we have all these people talking about evolution, and I was like, we're like outpacing a lot of what our evolution's capable of handling. Cleaning supplies, cooking supplies, clothes, the things we're putting in our body, the things we're putting on our skin, the things we're eating, all of these things. And
EMFs. We've never been exposed.
Yes.
It's this unprecedented amount of chemicals.
Like the amount of progress we've made in the last 100 years compared to like if you were to go to the previous 1,000 years it's a drastic jump. And so I understand why people get overwhelmed, but I think it's just, they have to realize like this is recent how much we're bombarding our system with so many things that we just didn't have access to 100 years ago.
Also, but what is
Exactly.
more overwhelming to me is having to go to the grocery store and buy 16 different brands for 16 different things. I would rather just have my core brands. I know they're non-toxic. I have kids. I have a dog. I have you to worry about. Like, I would rather just, if you can control it, why not? What's frustrating to me, and I wonder what you do in regular life, Allison, is you go to the gym, and we talked about this off air, and you're like working out and panting and sweating, and someone's next to you cleaning a mat with like Windex, and it's frustrating. You can't control it. Do you just let it go?
You karate chop them right in the neck.
What do you do when you're at a restaurant and you're literally eating, your soup, and someone next to you is cleaning a table?
You don't worry about it because you're going home to a house that's free of toxins, and
So
your
you just
body
get over it.
is strong
Okay.
and it's able to regenerate.
Ugh.
The problem is when we have a home that has this low level chemical soup. And so not only are we exposed to the things that we can't control, which we just can't worry about, right? But then we're coming home and we don't even get a break. So to create a safe haven of your home is getting you in a place of strength so that you can work out at the gym and have these toxic exposures and go to a restaurant and smell the Windex. And, Michael, I hear what you're saying, and people say this to us a lot. Oh, I feel overwhelmed. And we always say, don't. This is an opportunity for you to understand that your body is not a victim of genetics. You are not the victim of some dire diagnoses. I was told that I would never be able to recover from PCOS. There was nothing that I could do. I would never be able to have children. I would have to be on painkillers for the rest of my life until we figured this out. And I'm so thankful that someone like Marilee came in the picture and gave me hope. And if you really think about the idea of creating a healthy home, it's a finite process. I mean, I will say eating clean is a day-by-day decision, meal by meal. But creating a healthy home is not hard. What's hard is doctor bills. What's hard is horrible insomnia and mood swings and all those things that these toxic chemicals have been linked to.
No. I mean, we try to also on this show, like when we learn I always say like we learn at the same time as the audience, sometimes maybe a little earlier because we release this later. But like a lot of the things we've learned talking to people like yourself on the show, we've implemented into our life. And I always say it's like, you can listen to what people say, but like also really like the biggest thing to pay attention to is like watch what they actually do. And our lives have improved over time by taking better care of ourselves in these kind of areas, right? Like this is what we use in our house,
Exactly.
right? This is what our kids use. And
And Lauren, look how you felt postpartum with Zaza versus Towns.
Sure.
And that is a wild, nutty.
I was thinking about that the other day.
I've never even thought of it in terms of a toxic household, but I was in LA with all the pollution coming in and out of my house. That's called, what's it called? Like greenwashing, when they pretend like they're green.
Yeah. And the problem is those products are better, but when you start breaking down kind of the last ingredients on the list and, it's just a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Right. They get.
Okay.
We were using just a bunch of brands that were like sort of fake green brands. So they sort of get you on the marketing. And
Probably had a lot of fragrance too.
a lot of fragrance, and
endocrine
also a
issue.
lot of candles, all different kinds of candles in my house that I just like put out, and a lot of fragrance, and also a lot of EMF. Huge fucking TV in the bedroom.
huge.
Yeah. Thank God you got over that. Admit that that's been so life-changing.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't say that's the hugest EMF exposure. I think it's more about putting your blue blockers on when you watch it. Because I just think of, just all the light in the room in the evening.
I will
But-
never have a TV in my room again.
Yeah,
after not
I've
having
never
TV.
had one in my bedroom. It makes me
He had a movie
anxious.
theater in our room, and then then we had two chargers plugged on each side of the
Okay, now you're
like,
talking.
Lauren,
phone,
your
like-
constitution just wasn't as strong, right?
Listen, but here's the thing. I'm not saying like I'm perfect. My way is perfect now. It's definitely been slow little changes. I look at it like a diet, but like a diet for clean living.
Carson, pull that clip where she's saying, "I'm not perfect. My way is not perfect," and send it to me. I want to keep that on my phone.
It's gonna be your new ringer.
Yeah.
That's my minute. Every time she calls, that's what it's going to start with.
But yeah, we completely changed our entire life when we moved to
Yeah.
Austin. The entire like infrastructure of every single thing we do. Even like the towels we use. I try to like find organic.
Yeah.
We switched like our water filters.
and I
it's
know-
just been really life-changing.
I know this
Huge
is not
load off your body.
Yes.
It's not possible for everybody. I'm not out of touch, but sometimes it does maybe take a change in environment to changed. Like there was we could have done everything in that place we were in LA, and still would have been a mess. Just the area we were in, the building we were in.
Listen, y'all are smart. You didn't have some huge health crises or one of your children was really sick or you struggled with years of infertility. I mean, you were just smart. You decided, hey, this is kind of preventative healthcare here.
The
doing the best for my
postpartum was
family.
pretty bad.
Okay, so that was kind of your turning point.
I didn't know that it was. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't doing the right things with my body or with my environment.
No, it's not that. I mean, thank you for that compliment, but it's for what we get to do. We would be stupid having all these conversations and then not like questioning the way we're living our own life. Like, like I started taking care of my skin and my health and all these things. And not that I wasn't doing before, but to a greater degree, once you start talking to people and having conversations and understanding the benefit. And our hope is that like this translates to the people listening. Like, it's not that big of a deal to just go through your cabinets and say, okay, like maybe get rid of the chemical stuff and switch it for stuff that doesn't have those properties. So
exactly.
That,
What are things that we're eating besides Splenda that make a big difference when you take them out?
It's all about the small tweaks, not drastic changes. And obviously, that is what you can trust from Restylane family of hyaluronic acid derma fillers. This is the filler that I have used in the lining of my lips. I'm very specific, and this one gets the job done. The one that I used was Restylane Kiss, and it was just so natural. They are known for their hyaluronic acid filler. There's been over 65 million treatments worldwide. Everyone is very unique when it comes to their face. So Restylane is not a one-size-fits-all situation. They have like Restylane Lift for your cheeks. They have Restylane Define for your chin. They even have Restylane Eyelight for your under eyes. So everything is designed for whatever area you're targeting. The Restylane family of products are indicated for people over 21 years. The most commonly observed side effects are swelling, redness, pain, bruising, headache, tenderness, lump formation, itching at the injection site, and impaired hand function. To learn more about the serious but rare side effects and full important safety information, visit RestylaneUSA.com. You should know for all Skinny Confidential listeners, if you visit aspirewards.com/skinny, you can save $80 off any Restylane treatment. Offer terms and conditions apply. So again, that's visit aspirewards.com/skinny to learn more. That's visit aspirewards.com/skinny to learn more.
Quick break to talk about some of the most important people in our lives. No, I'm not talking about the grandparents. I'm not talking about the children. I am talking about our pets, our furry friends, the people that love us the most unconditionally. And this is why I think it's so important to talk about the Farmer's Dog. This company has been a game changer in our pets' overall health. We spend so much time thinking about our overall personal health and well-being, our family's health and well-being. So many pet owners overlook healthy options for their pet and they just go to the store and buy the store-bought pellets that just don't do as much. Here it is. It's real food. Feed your dog the Farmer's Dog. It's real, fresh, healthy food with whole meat and veggies, gently cooked in human-grade kitchens to preserve their nutritional value. It's personalized. Just tell them all about your dog, and they'll deliver personalized, vet-developed recipes for as little as $2 a day. Very cost-effective. It's pre-portioned. Meals arrive in pre-portioned, ready-to-serve packs, conveniently delivered on your schedule, convenient and fresh. Dog people all across the country have ordered millions of meals from the Farmer's Dog. It's never been easier to invest in your dog's health with fresh food. Like I said, this has been a game changer for our pets. They are absolutely thriving and so happy. And like I said, it's cost effective and easy to use and pre-portioned. So get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/skinny. Plus you get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/skinny to get 50%. That's thefarmersdog.com/skinny. Go to thefarmersdog.com/skinny to get 50% off your first box and free shipping. Enjoy.
I am always looking for creative ways to get my protein in, especially because I lift heavy weights. I also lift light weights, but I always like to eat protein after. And if you're looking for a really great grass-fed protein with no artificial ingredients that's third-party tested and also non-GMO and gluten-free, let me put you on to Clean Simple Eats. So usually protein powder has like a chalky aftertaste, but Clean Simple Eats is super creamy and smooth. And they have this flavor. It is the Simply vanilla flavor, and it tastes like ice cream. Zaza even likes it. I'm sure you've seen this protein powder all over TikTok, and there is a reason, because it is so good. One of the things that I like about Clean Simple Eats is they have a very high ingredient standard. They also have 26 delicious all-natural flavors, but I am a fan of the Simply Vanilla. How I use my protein powder is I'll put it in oatmeal and like mix it up and add some blueberries. And then I'll add almond milk or raw milk on top with a little honey. It's absolutely delicious. Or I make my kids protein pancakes and I'll do eggs, oats, and some protein. So delicious with a little maple syrup and crushed raspberries. I even add some lemon on top. You can't go wrong. You're going to visit cleansimpleeats.com and use code SKINNY at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's cleansimpleeats.com, code SKINNY for 20% off your first order. That's cleansimpleeats.com, code SKINNY for 20% off your first order.
Yeah. Seed oils, aka industrial sludge. Just kidding. It's so hard. I would say oils are one of the hardest things, because you can go to a nice restaurant and you can get the wild caught fish and the amazing, sides of vegetables. And you think you're having this balanced meal, maybe a little bit of rice for some carbs. But then if it's all cooked in canola, sunflower, safflower oil, they're inflammatory oils and they affect our brain, they affect our skin, they affect our reproductive organs. So I think the oils, and I will say one of the sneakiest things that's going on right now, especially in our health foods, are ingredients called excitotoxins. So think xanthan gum, citric acid, and they are there to add flavor, but they are actually exciting our brain cells to the point of like cellular death. I know that sounds a little bit dramatic, but I can't tell you what we have seen in terms of parents who have worked with Marilee because their child is not able to concentrate. They're hyperactive. They're having horrible mood swings. They're, just talking back, disobedient. And you get rid of these excitotoxins, it makes all the difference. And yeah.
You know how I know this is so true? I did an experiment. I took my daughter to Disneyland and we're at Disneyland.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Right.
So she has the Dead or Alive churro in front of the Haunted Mansion. We had the Dole Whip. We had the Minnie Mouse breakfast with the waffle and the sausage and the bacon and the hot dog and the pickle and all the shit. The next day, she had the worst tantrum in her whole 3.5 years on this planet. I have never seen anything like it. I was like jarred by the tantrum and I was driving in the car. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah. Her brain just couldn't handle it.
It was out of control. Do you remember that tantrum that she had?
No, I forgot it. Of course I remember it. Yeah, of course I remember it.
And I also felt like shit the next day after just having bites of stuff. But like, it really is crazy what it does to their little brains.
Yeah.
That is not a coincidence.
No, but again, like I think for us, we had not had any of that. Like that's not in our normal routine or diet at all. Like we're pretty clean. And so when you do that out of nowhere, it's like such a jarring experience. We're like, whoa, what is this? And I remember like going to those places as a kid and not feeling the way I do now. But it's been so removed for so long for us. And our children don't ever have that stuff. And to see that kind of disparaging difference it was crazy to me.
And eczema too, guys. Just that one ingredient, citric acid, we have seen over and over and over, removing that from the diet, eczema just goes away. After seeing the doctors and doing the ointments and the steroid creams. And sometimes we just got to look at the ingredient list.
What are some really great brands for kids that you recommend? Or maybe even it's a product for kids to like bathe in, shampoo?
We use Range Basics. Literally, everything from your toilet and oven and stains all the way to baby butts, makeup remover. We only use Range Basics.
Hold on. I don't have Branch Basics for
the foaming
skin.
wash. Yeah,
I didn't know.
We have a bottle.
You can use that on the body.
It has a foaming aerator and it creates a foam. And my kids have never had diaper rash. You can get it in your eyes. They bathe each other.
I never knew that you could use the household products on the body.
Yeah.
So I knew you could wash your hands, but I didn't know you can like pull it
through. It's a gentle surfactant, the same as like saponified plant oils, like a soap, except it doesn't sting your eyes. That's why I love it as a makeup remover. And literally, guys, I don't even know if I should be saying this, but my 17-month-old, when I change her diaper, I literally get my all-purpose bottle and then I get a Honest Company organic dry wipe and wipe it off and throw it in the trash. Like I don't use wet wipes because they all have preservatives in them.
Don't even get me started on this. My doctor calls me and says, "You're high in triclosan." And I'm like,
really?
What? I use all your products. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like triclosan, okay, it's a disinfectant in a toothpaste. My toothpaste is like non-toxic toothpaste.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Up pops on my Instagram. The most famous wipe on the planet has triclosan in it.
Oh, probably
So
like
not
a
only have I been
0.03%.
absorbing all these triclosan all day long, I've been wiping my kids' butt, hands, face.
The sensitive area. The thing about triclosan is that it's a transient chemical and it will leave the body as quickly as you stop using it. So
That's what they say.
That's
Yeah.
good.
We had Ken Cook from the EWG on this show.
I love Ken.
Yeah. And he was saying the same things. Like, it'll leave.
Yeah.
So
we send
you
everyone to their site.
take your Branch Basics. What do you mean you spray the water bottle? I don't understand what that means.
You're talking about the diaper thing?
You spray.
I mean, I literally will just get the all-purpose bottle
Okay.
and I just spray her skin.
But it's
and then
water.
I wipe it. Yes, I mean, mine's very diluted because I don't usually follow the fill lines. I probably should, but essentially you can just spray water and use a dry wipe to wipe a baby. But I have a little bit of Branch Basics in the bottle and I will just spray and then just wipe it with a dry wipe and that's it.
Let me ask you this, because I'm sure
Copying that.
people do this. For pushback, what kind of pushback do you get when you're talking about this versus, I guess, traditional household supplies, if any?
I feel like at this point, people have really woken up. And listen, I mean, like I said, we're an education company first. And if you're following us, you want to know more. You desire to understand more about your products. And the fact that the cleaning product industry is unregulated, the fact that, there are non-toxic cleaners that do the job just as well. I mean, I could go on and on about the whole disinfecting versus removal of bacteria and our whole fear of germs. I mean, even the CDC during COVID said the best way to get rid of germs is soap and water or a mild surfactant. We're a mild surfactant. So I actually don't feel like we have much resistance at this point. It's just about educating people and having them take the time to turn around their bottles. If there's not an ingredient list, get it out because they're hiding something. And if there is one, we always tell them to start with the last couple ingredients. And so let's say, most green cleaners usually add something like methyl isothiazolinone or potassium sorbate or sodium benzoate. And these are tiny little amounts of preservatives. However, they don't get good ratings on the EWG. And we say if it's a 3 or above on a scale from 1 to 10, toss it out. Every single ingredient. So we do recommend using the EWG Skin Deep database. We love it. However, we actually recommend using it to look up ingredients in a product versus just the product as a whole.
Smart.
Yeah.
Really smart. If you could wave a magic wand and just have 3 products be deleted from everyone's house, what are those 3 products? Because if someone can take something away, maybe they can at least eliminate 3 products after this episode that you just think are horrid.
Yeah. So pesticides, anything with a side at the end. Side means to kill. They're designed to literally cause cellular death. Just
So cancel
herbicides,
the
mildewicides.
exterminator.
Yeah.
No, we use the what is it called? The
Diatomaceous earth?
Yeah, that's
okay,
what we use.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
See, there's amazing ways to work around the pesticide issue. So pesticides all out. Synthetic fragrances all out. And then I would say product-wise, I never name names, but I think Clorox bleach is just one of those things that we're allowed to say causes DNA damage. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. There's really never a reason to use bleach in the home. Studies have actually shown that you can fill up a 3% hydrogen peroxide bottle. I actually literally take the dark brown bottle and I put a trigger sprayer from Branch Basics on top of the bottle and apple cider vinegar, separate bottles. You can spray a surface, one with the hydrogen peroxide and then the apple cider vinegar, and the killing effect is actually greater than Clorox bleach.
What about bleach in our hair?
Yeah. I dye my hair with all nutrients, and I make sure that there's no ammonia, no formaldehyde, no bleach.
Your hair looks great.
Oh,
The color
thanks.
looks great. You'll have to
Thank
tell
you.
me what you do to
Okay.
get that color. My hair is brown right now, but if I ever went back blonde, I would love to know exactly what you do.
I have sent so many people to All Nutrients because I vetted so many different lines. I was determined to be able to dye my hair. And that's the cleanest one I found.
Okay. All nutrients. And it's a blonde.
I just tell them to go as blonde as they can get me.
Okay. I guess what I would love to end this with is maybe telling us why you created this line and where everyone can find you, and maybe doing a giveaway and a code.
Sure. I'd love it. Yeah. So, I mean, if our mission is to help people identify and remove toxins from the home, And we have an entire course online. You can take a module or online module called Toss the Toxins. So you've removed everything. Well, honestly, we created this product. It took us over 18 months, over 100 iterations, because it is the best way to streamline the entire cleaning process. And it's economical. We have a all-purpose, a bathroom bottle, a laundry bottle, and a foaming wash, all used with the same concentrate to fill them up. So you never have to buy the empty bottles again, either glass or plastic. We have tens of thousands of people on subscription. So every, 1 to 2 months, they get a concentrate, they refill their bottles. So it's just an easy way to replace all the toxic cleaners that you have just gotten rid of. And yeah, let's see, Skinny 20 for 20% off all starter kits.
And what I like about your product, because I've been using it forever, a big fan of the brand before you came on, before anything, is
We've been doing this for a long time now.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with this company. And I want to tell you something that's really cool. But first, the glass bottles that you get are so cool. I think they're beautiful. They're chic. They have different colors on them, a little name.
And they don't break. With that
They don't
silicone
break.
sleeve.
They're reusable. The people that recommended me to use this were really powerful, smart people. So Test My Home came on. Have you heard of them?
With Ryan, yeah.
He is incredible.
Yeah,
and
he's
he
awesome.
said branch basics all the way. And you know how he is. You want to talk about someone who's picky about you guys
that's
go look
awesome.
at
I love
Test My
it.
Home. He recommended it. I've had a lot of people behind the scenes just rave about your brand. So I feel so good about recommending this. I just have to ask you one more question out of curiosity. How do you clean your fruit and your vegetables? Do you do it with
just
vinegar?
with the all-purpose.
So you can do it. That's what I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You can do sort of
Produce
do
wash.
everything.
Yeah.
So we could use a lot. We've been using this. We can do a lot more with it.
And this is the all-purpose.
Yeah. I mean, you're filling the all-purpose, the bathroom, the
Same
window
thing.
and glass bottle with the same stuff. It's just a concentrated cleaning formula. And we are Made Safe certified. So it's been tested to not have 5,000 different chemicals. And our sourcing is really clean. No toxic preservatives.
So you can literally put this on your fruit in a little bit of water, let
It's a
your
spray
fruit
bottle.
sit, and then eat it.
Yeah. So sometimes if I've just gone and done a huge haul at the store, I'll stop my sink up, fill it up with water, put all the fruits and vegetables in, and just put a little capful or little squirt of the concentrate and just let it sit for a few minutes and then just rinse it off.
Because you
Interesting.
keep mentioning how bad pesticides are, and I'm starting to go down fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
Starting to spiral.
The dirty dozen does matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
For anyone who would give pushback on the cost, break it down for us.
Absolutely. So, okay, a starter kit is $75, and you may initially think, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. So you are getting the all-purpose, the bathroom, the streak-free, the hand wash, and the laundry bottle all in there, which you never buy again. You just use the concentrate to fill it up. The concentrate makes 3 of each of those bottles, and for laundry, it does 64 loads of laundry. So the all-purpose bottle, for instance, comes down to less than $3 per bottle. It's about 25 cents per load of laundry. So it's actually extremely economical.
And also, you have, like you said, 25 different cleaning products that are all adding up to a huge amount.
Exactly.
And then when you re-up, all you need to do, you keep all the bottles and you just need to buy the concentrate.
That's
moving
exactly
forward.
right.
And
Yes,
so-
we have lots of people on subscription that just receive the concentrate and the oxygen boost in the mail every 6 to 8 weeks. But yeah, we walk down the cleaning product aisle, and what we don't realize is that it's all a bunch of marketing. Like our toilet cleaner and our oven cleaner, they're really not that much different. And it's mainly a ton of water with a couple drops of chemicals.
So you're potentially buying the same thing, like that oven cleaner could clean the toilet and the toilet cleaner could clean the oven, vice versa, but they're just marketed as 2 separate products.
Yes, that you wouldn't dare use on the other use,
Interesting.
I also think that you're saving time, and you're also giving people an efficient way to clean. It's so much easier for me not to have 6 million cleaning products and just have Branch Basics.
Yeah, it really streamlines the entire process, and it's 100% safe, and it actually works.
All right, code skinny20. You can shop at branchbasics.com. Where can everyone find you on Instagram and Branch Basics?
Yeah, just branchbasics.com, Branch Basics on Instagram. We kind of got the market on the Branch Basics name.
Okay, and then can we do a giveaway of all my favorite products?
Let's do it.
Okay, all you guys have to do is follow at Branch Basics on Instagram and tell us your personal favorite takeaway from this episode. I know I have a page full of notes on my latest Instagram at Lauren Bostic. Allison, thank you for coming on. Next time you have to come on with Marilee, because I need to hear I need to hear
She's
from
amazing.
this guru.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.